Hi everyone, welcome back to Kenyan Design Conversations.
A creator decided to create you so that you can create better things, better experiences, better lives, better opportunities for other people.
Wadau musingiange interviews hivo prepare tafadhali prepare.
It's more than what you own, but it's more about who you are as a human being before you start amassing all these incredible things.
Design was too easy for them. Me code was too complicated for me. I just wanted to be creative. I don't want to do numbers, you see. Sawa, this has been Kenyan Design Conversations with Tiffany, hosted by Chandarata Chantal. Bye. Hi everyone, welcome back to Kenyan Design Conversations. I'm your host Chantal Chandareta na mimi hapa there is a designer. Kama umesikia jina Tiffany. Me by the way, Tiffany, mimi nikisikianga jina Tiffany, I associate it with accessibility because you've been advocating for that sana. So tell us a bit about yourself. One thing I give my guests ni like nawaambianga, you can like uko na bragging rights. I can't sell you this the way you can sell yourself. So shoot. Uko na 3 minutes.
What? Imagine sina maneno other than the fact that I'm Tiffany. I love design. I love bringing things to life. Beautiful, aesthetic, accessible experiences that people can enjoy, not just people who have knowledge and tech savviness, but pia watu wenye wanajaribu explore this space. I love creating experiences for them and also interacting with people from learning about what they want to achieve, what goals they have, what ideas they have, and how I can help them bring those ideas to life. Other than the design part, solving problems and bringing ideas to life and innovating, I also am a farmer. Niko huku pande za Mount Elgon. We have some cows, some chicken. So mimi tu na my cows and my chicken. Yeah, they're my buddies and my design friends. Yes.
Na kuna venye umesema cows nikasikia ni kama my heart is melting because I love beef, I love milk, I love chicken. I mean, who doesn't?
I know. Oh, and it's a gift, like drinking your own milk. Oh man,
Yeah,
it's surreal.
I'm actually really impressed with how industrious you are. You're a designer and a farmer. You're living Mariga's life. Oh yeah. I wish angekuwa hapa asikie kiwaru.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't want that for him honestly because it's not easy. It is not, especially
But
when you're trying to balance both of them. And design is a very jealous craft. It wants all of you. So trying to balance those two, for me it's been hard, but it's fun.
maybe angekuwa hapa angejitetea venye chenye umesema alikuwa ashafikiria and all, but I won't speak for him. Atajibu mashtaka yake baadaye. Let's get into the pod. So now you know who Tiffany is, what she does. Like she's a designer. Niliwaambia nitakuwa tunawaletea waso, but usijali, kila msee ni mso, including myself. Mimi as the juniorest of designers, you as the juniorest of designers, we ni mso. So lessons learned and mistakes made. Before we even start, hebu niambie why this topic, why this particular topic?
Because nimekapitia and I don't want other people thinking this craft, especially in this country, in this day and age, is all roses. Economy, but it's not easy. It's not easy. And I just want to share with people, no matter where they are in their journey, to just know a couple of things from my experience, and maybe it can touch upon them and wajue tu, like wasidhani it's just about Figma or it's just about their favorite tool. It's more
Yeah,
complicated than that.
yeah, I think I do
Because,
get you.
yeah.
Uh-huh. Keep going
Oh, I
first.
was saying, like, it goes beyond what you create because you're doing it for people and people are in the mix. Honestly, I think that the ones who make it more complicated, dealing with people and the expectations, managing them and balancing people's needs, that's
Right?
where now the yeah I'm still getting used to
Managing
it.
people's
It's not easy.
expectations.
Yeah,
Alafu ufanye makosa uonyeshe watu unaweza kuwa superwoman. Kai 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 kai.
I know. Oh my goodness. By the way,
Nimehit a
where's your
nerve.
humidifier? Your
Hey,
humidifier was
wewe.
giving therapy. It was giving therapy
Really?
session. It was giving safe
Safe
space.
space
Bring it
vibes.
back. Yeah.
Let's see. Nile tu. Next time sieki mint. Next
Ooh,
time.
so which other herb do you want to experiment with?
I have rosemary, I have lavender. So hapa nilimix lavender na mint, right? And sasa maybe nianze na
Nice.
experiment moja moja. I have this someone who introduced me to plants. Mpaka sai, I'm just waiting for us to finish our podcast. Then after plant
Uh-huh.
ingine nikuje ni plant. Guess what my vase is? It's gonna be like a plastic box. Tunatumia DIY. So I used to think I need to have like money for a pot. Kama plant ni like 50 bob. Oh, this is the humidifier, guys. I'm not smoking weed. I don't smoke weed. Hey, audio editor tafadhali usensa hiyo part. This is the humidifier. I'm not telling you ni kampuni gani sijalipwa. I just want to give us good
Good
vibes.
vibes, good vibes. Awesome.
So
Awesome.
so I was
Yeah.
telling you about the hobby. So it's literally like a plastic box that came in with like a something. Eh?
Wow.
So I will see if I'll be spray painting it or leaving it like this because inakaa tu poa. And then nitoboe mashimo. Nilifunzwa by the way kuplant. Ni mix so I get loam soil mahali. By the way mimi naishi karibu na mto. So I get loam soil mahali karibu hapo.
Nice. That would be easier.
And then now I plant. So tutaona nitaweka LinkedIn. Siku hizi anyway.
Def. Because it's giving sustainability. I love it. And
Oh,
it
thank
reminded me
you.
of this. Yeah, I love that in terms of recycling. Awesome. It reminded me of this project. I think it was rolled out in rural India and some parts of the world called Liter of Light. So for them, instead of now your vase, but they use like chupaya soda, the plastic one, as a solar
Oh,
solution. I don't know how they do it, but
ati as a what
it works in
solution?
such solar inapewa say cha
Really? Oh
usi.
yeah, I've seen that
Yeah,
video. That's by
yeah,
the way really impressive. Oh,
yeah,
sorry, I'm just fixing. I'm just fixing. Hey, I'm just fixing. Yeah, you see me better anyway. Uh,
yeah. For me, like, I think we are moving towards the direction of life-centered, like taking a life-centered approach where we are taking care of our planet, we're taking care of everything, such that we give it more life, other than us as designers creating it, but also sustaining it and coming up with ways to help people treat the environment better, which is awesome. I think it's high time.
it's high time, right? So you see,
Yeah.
that's exactly what I was talking about. You are like a very big advocate for accessibility and sustainability, and you'll tell us more about that. But come on, just a tiny bit,
T-
or just take us
uh-huh.
through your background, pole pole too, not leaving out any failure along the way, any mistake, not leaving out, of course, me interchipping where I find relatable and all. I'll also get to share
Oh,
my mistakes. Let's have this
definitely, because
conversation.
I want to take it more from, yeah, just the way you said. First of all, a disclaimer. I
Mm-hmm.
want to reach a point where I think I'm good enough. I don't see myself in that light somehow, and I don't know why. It's been a few months of me trying to figure out, okay, as a designer, who am I as a human being? Where am I headed? And all that. So, just a disclaimer, I'm not a senior or a chief in any way. I'm just a human being trying to figure out what is the problem, how I can solve the problems, and how I
Yeah.
can make the world a better place. So just
Thank
taking
you
the
for.
approach of, yeah, the approach
Mm-hmm.
of, I don't have it all figured out. And I don't expect anyone to have it figured out, because there's this pressure, especially when I was joining. And ever since
Yeah.
I've been designing for clients, for organizations, I have to have it together. And I just want to say honestly, I don't have it together, especially working with seniors. I think all through my career, I've worked with people who are not just ahead of me, who are way, way ahead of me. And I'm expected to be at this level with them. And I've done some mistakes because of that, but I'm now learning, like,
Yeah.
the root is Tiff, as you are, uko poa. For where you are in your journey, you're okay. So that is the first disclaimer. What are your thoughts, Chantal?
I do actually agree with you. I love that you've had that disclaimer come out before. So many people think like hata mi nimekuwa in messes because people think like I'm really good. And to be completely fair, before someone thinks we are really, really good, we've actually given them that impression. So just because I'm vocal about my designs and all, I am still learning. So yeah, me and you, same page.
Same WhatsApp group.
Yep, very
Yeah.
much.
And especially when you're working with CEOs or like team leads who expect you to know everything, and you're like, I'll get back to you, or honestly, I don't know, I've never heard of this before. And they're looking at you in a type of way, and they're like, what do you expect? I don't know. If I don't know, I don't know. So just accepting that for myself before, like, standing in that
Yeah,
truth of, I'm a creative. I love exploring. I love not knowing to knowing. I love feedback, telling people telling me this can be done better, or rethink this concept. I love that, because it also shows me like there's more to what I've created. There's more potential to it. Then something else I have realized is, don't be taken for an idiot no matter where you are in your journey, because people can, especially me, people have seen me as someone soft, and they think they can take advantage of me. But for me, honestly, imefika point nimechoka. For example, you're given deals which you don't think are worth your
your
time,
time.
worth your expertise. Yeah, people just treating you the way they want to treat you without respect, or treating you like they're doing you a favor. Honestly, just
Because they
drawing
think
that
they can,
boundary.
right?
Yes, because they're holding the salary or the money, they think they have control
My
over
heart is
you.
with you.
Just, I honestly am tired. It has taken a toll on me for so long. nimechoka. I think I'm at that point where if I don't work with you, no, thank you. I want to invest
Think
my time in working with people who we are on the same page and who will
in
treat me with respect. We are on the same page in terms of goals and also who will treat me with respect. Na treat na respect as well.
yeah, yes. So sometimes someone who's I read this in Robert Greene's book, yeah, Laws of Human Nature. Si ati sisi ni wajinga, huwa tunajua msembaya. Like we see the signs, we see the subtle things. Like maybe you tell someone your achievement, and then they act like they are happy, but deep down they're jealous. It will show on their face for a split second. It's the first reaction that will come before that smile. So most of the time we see it, and then we go like, ah, I've seen my own things. Ah, you see, Amash can be like that. So yo, I've also learned, yeah, Aki, I do relate with everything you're saying, and the whole you figuring out your worth and deciding, you know what, I'm only dealing with clients my caliber. That's a plus. That's also something I also had to learn the hard way. Maybe you could give us like a real experience. You can censor or give different names. Just give us
Hey,
experience.
hey, this is a hard one. Okay, it's something recent. A client called me and I was just giving them an update on where I am. And
Yeah.
apparently, I said something wrong because I took a different approach. Let me tell you, I was at home, I think I was just taking tea, and my mom saw my face freeze. Akashtuka pia yeye, she was like, whoa, what is happening? So I just had to realize that what I was feeling on the inside was showing out, and I just had to come up with words to end that conversation.
Mm-hmm.
But it was the tone as well. It was, I cannot even put it into words. It was scary, super scary. And I think when I hung up, my mom asked me, hey, Kwani, who are you talking to? Then I told her the name of the client. And she was like,
Mm.
why are you still engaging with this person? I was still in shock because it was at a time when I had no hope and I was just picking projects to help me survive. And she just told me out blank, I just want you to know how valuable and how worthy you are. And I think since that day, my mind
Wow.
is still in shock.
Ah,
I had to
that
realize
that
how worthy and how important I was because I can't be putting up with such nonsense. And I think from that day on, I was
Tiffany,
like, wait a minute. Yeah.
aren't you quite the storyteller? Unajua venye umetuweka in suspense. And she told me something. My face froze. My mom asked, sisi wote tunangoja. Ni nini alikuambia? Yeah, so you're quite the storyteller as well. Ongeza hiyo kwa list.
It Kwa list, it was a
Mm-hmm.
movie. It's something that has been living in my mind rent free, and I'm still trying to figure that out. And I think it plays into another point I had. I don't know how we'll digress into it, but it's still part of it. When people tell you, like, Tiff, you're a really good designer, you really know how to design. And when I was starting out, like me giving compliments to other people, it was taken as a very weird thing. And I gathered like you're not supposed to compliment someone, especially designers, because it feels weird. I don't know if you feel weird when someone tells you like your work is dope or
I,
Tiff, you are a
eh,
talented designer. Like, do you ever get that vibe? And then it rubs off on me like, I see people tell me I'm dope, but why can't I see it for myself? I feel like I'm not. I'm not. Do you ever feel like, do you ever get that vibe like you're not supposed to be complimented? You're just supposed to exist
Yeah.
and create and move on.
Lakini that's very deep. Umeamua we have a deep conversation and be real. But then let's be real. That's I think
Yeah,
that's
let's be
what we are
real.
calling imposter syndrome, sindo. You know kitu tunaita imposter
Yeah.
syndrome sahi. So like you're really dope, like, and people are telling you you're really dope, and then you don't see the dopeness. It's okay, it's totally okay. I have been there, I've done that. Like Nila too, at least we always know we are learning. Sasa shida inakuja penye inatu affect design yenye mpaka we start being mediocre kabisa. Haifai kufika hapo.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Eh,
It's supposed to
so
be
what
chasing.
well, your story has your story yako ni tamu, how you learned your worth. So yes, mi nilikuwa nimeambiwa na watu wengi, like my friends, my nini. I know I'm still learning, by the way. Of course I'm not the best designer. Come on, that's why this podcast exists. Ningekuwa the best, hatungekuwa hapa. I'm here to learn, you see. And what I learn is what I share with other people, and I ask them to share. By the way, if you're watching this, if you're listening, like, share, and subscribe to Fadali. That's the only way we get this message out there. We help some other designer coming up, some other techie coming up. Sawa. Aya. So what happened to me was, so everyone kept telling me, uko sawa, nini, uko poa, uko fiti. Just keep doing, keep practicing, show your work, tell people, you see. Top interest, tafuta ideas, inspiration, study other people's ideas, have a mentor, nini. So I had them hapa. Nini. So yes, deep down I feel some of them, at least people who I'm close with, like my best friend, my unaona watu niko close now, au ndo naambia sawa, nyi mnaniona hivyo lakini mi si feel, and then wako like kuwa serious, ebu ona hii. So I had actually the first one, my best friend. Shout out to my best friend. Shout out to my best friend. She will know it's
Shout
her.
out to Chantal's best friend.
Atajua ni yeye. Siko sure kama nafaa kumtaja because apendi publicity na now that this is a podcast. Anyway, so like she used to alikuanga naninua every time ninge break down, like naona ni kama niko stagnant, naona ni kama namwambia mi sioni ni kama na improve, ananikumbusha, ananiuliza, do you think, ebu compare this with the very first design you did, do you think bado uko huko? And then ningejicollect, and most of the time inakuja kama maybe you've tried doing something imekataa, you've tried doing an assignment haushikanishi. So what happens for me is, well, yes, she used to pick me up most of the time nikianguka. There was this one person who, shout out to them. This one person aliniona sana, like naweza sema yeye ndo one of the reasons I am here. Na nashukuru, by the way, because nilijua tech through them. Nikakuja. So mi nilikuwa nimeanza na coding juu sikuwa naelewa, hata sikuwa hata najua about designing. So nikacode. But then I used to see people do designs on Canva, and that like really intrigued me. And then hivyo tu ndo nikaenda up nimechange. There's like a story hapa katikati, but it's not relevant sahi kwa hii for this episode. So hivyo tu nikaenda nikichange. So ndo nimeenda nimeng'ang'ana. Naona why am I still in the same position? It means I am doing the same things over and over again. If you do the same things over and over again, there's no way you're changing, right? So nikaenda back to the drawing board. That was last year, September. I have told this story so many times. I will not get tired telling this story. Last year around July, nikachora a 4-month plan. Unaona hii book inasemanga live 1 year in 12 weeks. I didn't even read the book. What I did was I niliangalia summary, niliwatch. Shout out to Ali Abdal, that YouTuber. Sijui kama watu wanamjua. That guy has grown.
He's awesome.
That guy went from, so you know him. Tutaweka link yake kwa description so that I don't have to explain. So see Ali, no, it wasn't Ali. But anyway, nilipata summary yake na nikasikiza na nikachora kiplani design yangu according to venye mi nimeelewa, because si lazima ufanye kila kitu textbook to text, as long as ina work, right? So I did something, nikachora plan, nikachora goals, nikachora nini, nikachora action steps. So I want to get to this level of design, right? What does this entail? Improved this. to get to improved this, what do I have to do? One of the things was go back to school, like, and since YouTube University had worked but not for so long, kenda Coursera, right?
Oh,
Kenda
okay.
Coursera.
Okay.
So Coursera there's someone who said this. Coursera itakushow haujui. Yani unadhani unajua lakini haujui anything.
Ujui.
Hapo sasa ndo niligrowia mpaka nikamanage kuget one of my projects kwa portfolio. It's not perfect, by the way. Mi sai nikipata tena, I swear it's gonna be a better version, you see. But I'm not changing it.
Nice.
Na change, I'll just have another case study for it. Even venye iko, I'm proud of that project as it is. It was my first complete project na nikangangana kufanya like user research, nini. Paka hata nilikuwa like na share on LinkedIn, right? I don't have so many followers, so of course ilipita wase. However, nimesoma. It's not easy. So nasoma and I am working. So I am working and me, I love having top-notch work, right? So nataka kudeliver to my employer the best work ashaiona. Me huenda like out and out. As long as you give me the space of creativity, at usinilimit hapo ati unani micromanage. Oh you're gonna be happy every single time, you see.
Nice.
Sasa yeye alikuwa ananipea hiyo. So ananipea tu assignment, I put my all in it hivyo. So mi nishaeka from 8 to 5. This is it. Hii ndo inalipa bills, you see. But then I have to get time to study. So I made time. I started sleeping less. So nika reduce from 8 to 5 hours. Just because niliona video fulani, actually hata nilikuwa nisha reduce but hiyo ikaniashua. Niliona video fulani Steve Harvey anasema tuhitaji 8 hours of sleep, just 5 is enough. I was like, hizo 3 hours inaenda wapi? Twende tusome. Twende tukamate hii kitu, tutafinya hii computer tutoe madola, you see. Aya. Nikaenda nikasoma. It's not easy, but it's not easy. But if you want to do it, utamaliza, you see. Ama utafika at least place unaona, sasa hapa at least I can clear myself. It's not just a loose thread hanging yenye inaweza katika. I have a ladder I can climb on, you see. I know where to look for what resources, what to find where. Hata kama sina like imprinted in my head, when it comes to doing this particular thing, tajua, so ni empathy. So I'm supposed to do some research. Najua naweza tumia hizi tools. Maybe I need to remind myself types of qualitative analysis. Tuame nishafanya research and all, you see. But kumbuka, it's reminding myself, it's not as hectic as before. Nimeenda. July, August, September, October, November, December, January. Beginning of January nimeanza kukua stressed up. Because I was planning on like transitioning fully to design.
Fully.
Like, yes. Like then I wasn't doing design, but everyone else knew me as a designer. But then
we all knew you as a designer.
Wanasemanga inaanzanga na identity. Mimi nilijiestablish kama designer. Na ikakuwa hivyo, si ndio? But now it's towards it's imefika January. I'm like I did almost okay, I didn't do everything right, nitakubali. But I did almost everything right, especially the kusoma part, because I was very intentional on kusoma and increase. And then this guy who I was talking about mwenye alinisaidia ku come up, unajua mi nilijua at least someone has my back, like at least someone really has my back.
That's really dope.
Ebu chill. Alafu ananipigia hii January yenye niko stressed. I'm like, why isn't it working? Because I've been looking for jobs now and all. Why isn't it working? Why would you call me to tell me? Unimse, I mean, tumetoana
mbali. I know.
Why would you call me to tell me? I won't hata say mbali. Mi naweza sema success yake ni yake, sikuwa involved. Nitakubali kienda up imeulizwa ni sawa, it's fine. But why would you call me Tiffany? Why would you call me to tell me niachane na design? I can't do design. Of course hakuisema hivyo.
But he was giving that vibe.
Under analogies. Do you know I cried that whole day? Alipiga asubuhi. Akaniambia ngoja kidogo, I have this and this. So anaenda anafanya what he has to do. Kuja anapiga tena. But then I really didn't like that nini. I really didn't like that.
Pole.
I cried
that
the whole day, I
unatonic
won't lie.
whole day.
Yeah, I cried the whole day, I won't lie. But then alikuwa ame break spirit yangu vibaya sana. I remember calling a couple of my friends and crying. Saizo beshte yangu ako hapo beshte yangu alikuwa kweli. Beshte yangu alikuwa ametoka. Akakuja kuniona akapata nalia. Already nimepigia wase wengine nimemwambia. So the other part of my support system nimewambia mazee mi naacha design mazee ni hivi na hivi. Kumbuka I'm just crying and you cannot tell me my dream sasa shida ni wase huku judge based on what they know about you, but no one was there with me between 3 a.m. and 8 a.m. nikijipanga ku take care of myself first and then read. No one was there.
Yeah.
And that is what I don't tell people look with. Sasa nikuje niwaambie tu venye niliamka 3am inawahusu wapi? Mi nitawaonyesha kazi yangu nionyeshe so I'm upskilling. Hapa ndo nimefika. Is there something I need to like kuna kitu nafaa kuchange?
Level up.
Because I am willing to learn. I was willing and that is what I was doing. I remember even najua sina wase wengi like followers wengi and all, but that didn't stop me. I remember asking you for some, right? Ulini review your project yangu. Mara movie tax. I also asked like a couple of this. So I was on the right track. Nothing was stopping me with design. So when it broke me and all, beshte yangu ameng'ang'ana. Everyone else was like, don't listen to him. Wewe endelea tu. Ni sawa. But me, then the next day mi nikapata congratulations.
Oh my goodness, what? Now who's the epic storyteller in this pod? What?
Congratulations.
Wait.
And the money?
Hold up. Pull up. What? And the money.
And the money was just better than I was paid. Unajua, I'm not disclosing anything here, but it was better than I was being paid. And unajua, nilikuwa nimepanga ku like jaribu ku moonlight because I really loved the place. But after being told that I can't do design, I'm not a good designer, however much I try and practice nini. I decided sasa because someone has believed in my capability, because nilifanya interviews mbili which I thoroughly prepared for, I will not lie. Wadau musingiange interviews hivo prepare tafadhali prepare please.
Mock interviews,
imagine
interview prep.
Vitu niliprepare for zili show up. Ndo maswali nilikuwa naulizwa niliulizwa about ati so if this is Spotify ni nini unaweza change. Trust you me, exact sentence.
What? And you just nailed it. Oh,
like, and
I think God was on your side. What?
Yeah, because ebu nieleze like Tiffany, how would you tell someone kitu kama hiyo? You've not even taken. Unajua naelewa, by the way it was coming from a very good place. Wacha tuanzie hapo. Do not mistake me. Hakuwa na intentions mbaya at all. Because what I've not mentioned kwa hii conversation ni alikuwa ananiambia, you're not good at doing this, but you're good at doing this. Just keep doing this, right? Itakupropel uende mbali, unaona. But mimi Chendereta, mtoto wa Diana, hataki kufanya hiyo, anataka tu kufanya
design.
Like, unaona mimi and as someone in love, WhatsApp group. So I can say I was in love with design, right?
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's how I. Even though mi sasa nilitoka kwa. Yeah, like bado at times inakujanga. At times inakujanga, but I call my support system. Naambia naenda nasoma na upskill. Nikiona naanza kufeel less of najiuliza, okay, why am I feeling less? Nini imenishinda kufanya? I can't get this problem right. Naenda, I'm pondering upon how to get it right. I'm pondering, is it the steps? Yo, I'm very intentional, and my growth might not be as quick as people maybe expected it to, because sasa sijui nisemeaje,
True, true.
but ni yangu. Na ndo
But
nilikuwa nasema mtu asikuandikie story yako, ujiandike. So yo, mi hata hisi mistake, hii ni lessons learned. Like
yeah,
I think by there I was out of it. Like everyone had tried like putting me back in my space. Like when you
but
designer, like I was
it's
gone.
you.
I
And then
was I
something
was
else.
down.
And then something else,
Mm-hmm.
like I've borrowed so many gems from your story. I did not like, I always thought you had it together, number one. Like you are so on top of things, but I didn't know you were waking up at 3 in the morning to design or to upskill. For me, I
Now you
love
know.
that. I really admire that about you. Then something else I wanted to ask from your story in terms of imposter syndrome. It reminded me of an encounter I had with my manager, my PM.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to her. I opened up to her
Yeah.
and I was telling her I'm struggling emotionally. She looked at me like in a very funny way, like, what? You, out of everyone, you don't look like
Like
that.
how ni tu venye
So
ni possible.
yeah, I'm crushing it. But in real life, I'm questioning my worth, my identity, my sanity, because I was going mad. I honestly. My question is
And,
for people who don't
mm-hmm.
have support systems, like for me where I am, maybe there's no one I can reach out to, like I'm dying inside. Or when I do,
Mm-hmm.
I have to downplay it a lot because I'm an empath. I feel it all. If it's the rejection, I feel it all. If it's
You
anger,
and
I
I,
feel it
sis.
all. I feel it all. And I don't know if there's a way to separate those two, like my work or people's feedback about me with I don't know if I can. So for me, what has worked is Chat GPT. I feel mad. I just
Mm-hmm.
tell Chat GPT, and Chat GPT just tries to cool me down. But for people who don't have support systems like you do, for me, Chat GPT works. But what would you suggest for them? Because it's real. For example, I can't go to a friend and ask them like, I just had a bad day at work. First of all, they don't understand what I do in the first place. Where I am,
Mm-hmm.
Mashambani, they don't understand. So me trying to tell them this is and this happened, it's so out of context for their reality. What would you advise people like me? How do we approach this, dealing with such issues, uncertainties, and just having bad days because it's so normal? And we don't have support systems. What other routes do we take?
Eh, go bold or go home.
Go
So
home.
mi naweza sema aki find a support system. Naweza jua I know the Kenyan Design Conversations community is always willing to help in wase wenye wana feel down. Like the only by the way, the only reason hii pod ilianza ni kujitoa kwa hiyo space ya kufeel sina mtu wa kuongelesha. I'm like, okay, so since I learn every time and I want to learn from people, so what I did was I got a hobby which was coding, which has become like now very serious. No, na mira sikujua itakuwa this serious. So number one, kwanza, you can get a hobby. First of all, ukifeel you've had a bad day, remember you've had other bad days before, um and it's just a bad day. You are not a bad person. It was not about you, it was a bad day. Even though huwa najiambia hizi ni vitu nimelearn pole pole, like while I was learning to love myself, because nilizifanya concurrently, learning to love myself and upskilling in design. So I was, and nikapata hapo, if you're having a bad day, it's just a bad day. You can have better days. Make sure make sure. Hapana, wachana na story ya make sure. Mi naweza sema I don't know how to articulate this clearly yani, but eh, if you can find a friend, please do. Just
Yeah.
that one person mwenye anaweza kuelewa, hata kama it's your mom. Si lazima aelewe ati chenye unafanya in detail, lakini akiona vitu unafanya, asikie achievements zako, asikie penye umetoka, atakukumbusha. So that one person who will remind you where you're from, where you're going and your goals. Yeah. So that person
Oh
I
my
made my
goodness.
friend.
Gems, gems, gems. You've brought up two things I wanted to mention as part of lessons, but I think nitazi combine. So about
Mention
finding
too.
a friend. Yeah, like you mentioned about learning to love yourself as you design. That is, I think, one of the most important things I've learned as a designer ever since I started identifying as one. Venye nilisema, like, design is a jealous craft. It is very jealous in the sense that for me it consumes me. It reaches that point where I don't know how to put it, just consumes me. And it reaches a point where it brings out the best and the worst in me. I didn't know I had ego. It just brought it to the surface.
Aha.
And instances unapatana like I need to check my ego. Then another instance of I've been struggling with low self-esteem since I was a young girl. And in design, like I thought I had it handled, but when I started designing, oh my goodness, time and time again I was tested about on my self-esteem, not so much my self-efficacy but my self-esteem.
Esteem. Yeah.
Child, have I gone for a ride? For example, let me just give you an example. There's a company or an organization I was working with, and I've always called for diversity because you can't all be the same. You have to come from different backgrounds, different points of view, different points of life. And then you come together and you solve problems and you make cool stuff. But I didn't know what was waiting for me. I was in a room with very distinguished people, and I couldn't keep up with the conversation because they were way ahead of me. Funny thing, it was an event. There was an event I attended, and this guy was talking about billboards and all these fancy advertising stuff. At some point in my life, I could have related with it because I moved from Nairobi to the village. But where I'm
Yeah.
at, there's nothing like that. The only street lights we have, like, inakwamia mahali kwa barabara. And the lights you depend on are stars and the moon. So if someone is talking about billboards and fancy things, I couldn't relate. For the life of me, I couldn't relate. And you could see in the conversation, it just went all weird. But all to say is you have to you have to be comfortable with yourself. Honestly, where you
Yes.
come from, who you are, you
Yeah.
have to, oh my goodness, if there's one takeaway I'd have for this podcast, for go bold or go home, you have to before you go bold, be comfortable with yourself. Accept the fact that
Before
you
you go
don't have
bold.
a MacBook. You have to accept yourself, who you are. Don't
Thank you.
live in this utopia of Twitter, of LinkedIn. Stop that nonsense. Accept yourself where you are. Accept that you don't have, for example, electricity at home. Accept the fact that you
Ngoja
are
kwanza nikupigie
currently
makofi.
struggling. Oh, eh. Accept the fact that you're not perfect. Accept the fact that you are trying to get your laptop to run to actually come up with something You don't have to have a
Uh-huh.
MacBook. You don't have to have a gazillion followers. You don't have to have this fancy brand. You don't, as a designer, okay, how do I put this? It's more than what you own, but it's more about who you are as a human being before you start amassing all these incredible things. I'm not saying it's bad, but never forget who you are and accept who you are. We always look at life like sinner he, but you've got so much. You are so amazing as you are. Like the fact that you exist, what it took to create you, and the fact that you have been given this gift, this privilege to create as well. A creator decided to create you so that you can create better things, better experiences, better lives, better opportunities for other people. For me, like owning that, that has been everything for me. So accept where you are. You'll work with people who have so much. Yeah, you work with people who are way more experienced than you, who have way more money than
Mm-hmm.
you, who have way more experience than you. But there's something so unique you bring to the table that warrants you to be where you are with such audiences, with such you with such experiences, with such opportunities, accepting where you are. It doesn't mean that you don't go out of your way to pursue better for yourself, but just rooting yourself and owning how amazing you are will open you up to so much more. The reason why I'm so passionate about this is because I've struggled with this for years. It's because I'm in an environment where I think Mariga, I wish I would have told him this. When you move to these parts of the country, there's culture shock
Mm-hmm.
where these power dynamics are not the same as you would have in the city. In the city, it would be more of you're all doing your own thing to make a living. But here, there are rules, invisible rules, and subtle
Mm-hmm.
undertones of the power dynamics are messed up in the sense that
Okay.
you don't have that freedom to do what you want. You have to go through certain people to achieve or to do what you want. If it's ownership, you don't totally own something, it's someone hovering over you. So there's those limitations of freedom. And other than accepting where you are, I'd like to encourage another designer. If not, I'd like to encourage myself. It's okay to dream beyond where you are, even if the environment is conditioning you to settle for less. You can dream for more and not settle for less. I come from a place where there's not much chasing and hunger for opportunity. There's no drive, there's no, I don't know how to put it, that hunger for innovation, for possibility, for exploration. It's not there because our mindsets are colonized in such a way that you take what you're given. And I just want to implore people, wherever you are, it's okay to dream for more. It's okay to hope for more.
Mm-hmm.
I've lived,
Yeah.
honestly, ever since I started design and getting my first internship, getting my first job, I've realized that it's so different and it can affect you in a very, very bad way. Because the way you relate to people, like code switching, is really hard because one place you're going and people are just talking about the future, and here people are scrambling to survive. So
Yes, yes,
just
yes.
knowing
Ni
that
kitu nimeona sana.
you're more than where you come from, you're more than your environment. And as designers, kuna your struggle because you know you're more, but everything around you tells you you're less. Especially as a woman,
Yeah.
I'm not driving any agenda, but honestly, as someone who loves good men, I've seen my share of bad men. Bad men in the sense that mwanamke unaniambia nifanye nini, from that perspective. Women don't have the right to tell men to do ABC, or women don't have the right to achieve ABC. I come from such a place. And even if it's not so
Wewe
evident,
Tiff,
the eh? the
ebu,
undertones are there.
uh-huh.
So I just want to tell people, staki kwenda sana, like it's okay to
Mi
have
sitaki
more,
tukue
to wish for
cancelled.
more, to dream more. Oh, anguka
Ati
nayo, tuanguke
tunasema
nayo.
women na men. Ni
No,
ukweli tu,
like
bethe
just
hata mi kuna mse aliniambia, no, honestly, si ati unadanganya. Oh, they are good men. Me, I've worked with so many good men. In fact, I love working
yeah,
with men juu wanafikiria logically, si emotionally. So ukiwaambia cheki, acha ufala unadu, hata jam. Ataona sense yache
true,
unasema.
true.
Nikiambia
Ataona,
dem
yeah.
cheki, acha ufala, ayaya, haniongeleshi the whole of that month. Unaona difference? But all I'm
Hey,
saying
you'll be
is, okay,
given
si wote pia.
eyeballs.
Exactly. Na those wanasemanga aje? Bombastic side eye, you see. But
Yeah.
all I'm saying is, hata mi kuna mse aliniambia point, like we were not coming to an agreement, and then he sized me, and he was like, what is this girl telling me? And then he walked away. I felt so offended. I felt so fucking offended. Tafadhali audio editor
Pole.
censor hizi parts. But I felt so fucking offended. Oh my god. Hey. But ni sawa, I do get your point. So if they come for us, it's okay. Mbona wana feel attacked kwanza ama wanafanyanga hivyo. And
I know,
tuachane hii
I don't
story.
know. I don't know if it's an ego issue, but like I've
It
worked
might
with
be.
so good men who made me wonder, wait a minute. So men are really good to work with. Like I really enjoyed the experience of working with good men. So just knowing
Mhm.
like see what anyone buy. Just the same way, like men would say, oh, these ladies are not our get, but the good ladies, the bad ladies, the good men, the bad men. So it's all of us just trying to figure out ourselves, heal ourselves, and just be better. Because at mimi at some point, I was not a good lady, but pole pole, we're
Hata
seeing
mimi.
signs. We're seeing signs
Eh,
of good ladies. Yeah. And then there's something else you mentioned, and
mm,
about like you breaking down and you taking to heart like what this quote unquote mentor said. I have two questions there.
sitaki kumuita
How,
mentor,
like,
but yeah,
design
let's just go
friend,
on. I think
design friend. Oh,
tuendelee tu.
this
Design
person
friend.
X,
Person, thank you.
that's the word. So this person X design friend, when they told you hiyo maneno alikuambia, staki kurepeat because I'll also get
Eh, eh,
furious.
yeah, I know. You being an
How do
empath
you
and all. Uh-huh.
detach yeah, how do you detach what people tell you from what you believe from yourself? And question number two, about this mentorship story, like me, I just want to know, how do you get mentors? Inafika point, like right now, I don't know how to get one. I want a design. Look, I have a mentor, but they are not a design mentor. So how do you get one? And I'm looking for a mentor beyond the 30-minute mentalist, ADP list sessions. I
Yeah, I
want a
know, like
relate.
that deep
Like
connection mentor,
how do
right?
you, yeah, because the mentor I have right now, tulitoana way before I even started design. Like they know me from Hi, I'm Tiffany. I'm looking for, I'm learning design and I want to become a designer. I'm looking for opportunities. I'm just trying to understand myself from that level to, hi, I'm Tiffany. I'm a designer. Like, I'm an actual designer for real, for real. So, how do you get this person who will help you or show you where to go? Let me put a twist to that question, especially when you don't know where you're going, because you know where you are going to the point where you got your job. So, how do you get a mentor who will guide you to a place where you don't know where you're going, you don't know the end goal, you don't know how it looks like? Those are my questions.
Okay. Um, sijui. Mimi, I also like hadn't figured how to get a mentor. Mostly when you tell someone checking nadai ukue mentor wangu ana freak out. First and foremost, mentor mentee. There's a time Tech Twitter was busting with mentor mentee. Something happened. You see, OSG. You remember? So now
Yeah.
kwanza hiyo sasa ika-intensify the uoga wa kuwa mentalment, especially opposite genders, unaona, ika-intensify that
Yeah.
uoga. So it's very
Wow, 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 wow. Like, will you ever talk about such instances? Like, males freaked out. Such things happen in Kenya. What? Tektita was hot that
chill,
day.
chill, chill,
Okay,
chill. There
okay,
are
side
always
note.
three
That is a
sides
side
to
note.
every story. Three sides to every, and there's always three sides to every coin. Story ya party 1, story ya party 2, na ile ya katikati yenye nakwanga uniform, which is the truth. I wish I had a coin karibu nikuelezee what I mean. Do I have
You only
coins?
deal with notes.
Niko na
You
pesa
only deal
kweli?
with notes.
Usikue hivo.
You only deal with
Don't be
notes.
like that. Oi, 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 oi. Yeah, how broke am I today? Nasikia kacoin hapa. There's this five bob. Msijali nimepanga. Aya, you see this coin?
I can
Ika five
see
bobs,
it.
no? Iko na hii side, iko na head na tails, right? Na
Yes.
iko na hii akaka round. That is uniform. Inakumekia sense?
So that inanimekia sense. So
So hii ndo
what
story
should
hakuna
we?
mtu anajua. Don't judge.
Oh,
Unaweza chukua the story because part of it might be true or not. Because of course, even if it's true or not, it is actually happening somewhere. You see?
yeah, yeah.
But mimi sitaki kujudge that particular story or person. That's why I do not engage in other conversations. But this is ngoja kwanza wacha tulikuwa tunaongelea mentality. So juu ya hiyo burden, hiyo video yetu nika imeringa. Watu waone tu sura zetu.
That is the most
Ama
important thing.
waone hapa. Unasema hivyo na hujawasha video. Anyway, so just to offload, cause inakaa ni kama unaweza kuwa baba yangu. Do you know how big of that a responsibility is? Ama unaweza kuwa mama yangu. Namaanisha I will have to make sure you feed even when you don't want to. Are you sick? I can't get you drugs. I can't take you to the hospital. And that's the kind of mentor you're looking for, right? First, you have to establish a rapport with someone. Whether you're looking to be mentored by a Mzungu somewhere or a Nigerian somewhere or just a Kenyan within, you start engaging with them. Start engaging with their posts, their stories. Look at what they like, what they don't like. Look at their designs. Look at how they design. No one's perfect. What they like, what they don't like is on your opinions. But si juu nampenda kiplani, like si hivyo vibaya we. Rudi, we are in Kenya. Tuko hapa, tuko kwa hii pod. That's for the listener. We najua tuko pamoja. Like
Tuko
unampenda and
pamoja.
all. So you start and then una engage na maybe kama ni online una engage na LinkedIn posts zake. Kama unaweza mpata physically, kama unaweza mpata through WhatsApp, engage them. Then think of DMing them. What's the worst that can happen as kureply kufa? Otherwise, 98% of the time people are nice, people actually reply as long as ulikuja pia wewe na uzuri, huwezi kuja na ubaya. Ukikuja na uzuri ni sawa.
Fire for
So
fire.
don't ask them to be your
Fire for
mentor.
fire.
Just ask them kitu. Yeah. Just ask aura for aura. Itatuharibu.
Hey,
So
hey.
just ask them for like advice on something, maybe cheki, so nafanya hii dashboard kuna venye inanisumbua, ungeifanyaje kitu kae. They'll be willing to spend maybe 5 minutes. Maybe they're very busy, but they can find 5 minutes because you actually asked for it. Nona. So you start when they see the commitment, when they see that the relation, you're building the rapport, itakuja tu naturally because you'll sasa end up being friends. See? Itakuja tu naturally. Otherwise, you're looking for a mentor pap, a DP list, mentalist. So hakuna kitu rahisi. That's all I'm saying. Nimejibu swali zako zote kweli? Or is the other question?
The question was, how do you like when you are given that feedback, like you're not gonna be a good designer? How do you like? Are you in a better place, Kwanzaa? And how do you detach from what you're being told to the actual reality? Because honestly, you are a good designer, no cap. But someone
Thank
else
you.
telling you, like sometimes it can hit different. It can hit different and can just mess you up. So how do you
Yeah, it
not
confirms
rely
all
on the
those
opinions of
insecurities.
others?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. How do you rely on the truth, that invisible side of the coin, as opposed to people like telling you, taking feedback raw as it is without processing, because it will hit you, you will cry, but it will take time for you to realize that this person was just having a bad day and they decided to take it on you, but at that time hata we ni moto.
This one actually I don't think was having a bad day. This one had thought about my situation based on what they knew then. Unaona, na kaona yenyewe acha nisaidie huyu msichana anateseka sana, acha nimwambie ukweli, unaona. So that's why I'm saying, me, I still think they came with good intentions, but the damage they did, they do not know the damage they did because there were better ways of coming at me. We could have even had like a physical conversation about this, and then maybe ningekusimamisha nikuambia, but the last 6 months, by then nilipunguzanga kupost, nilikuwa post once in a while, so unaona it gets even harder for people to know what you're doing, because now I'm swarmed with assignments and work. I also have deadlines, unaona, sina time ya kupost, so no one anajua, hakuna mtu anajua like behind the scenes. I am doing assignments, we're exchanging assignments with people from all over the world and marking each other's work, unaona, and giving each other constructive feedback. That's what Coursera does, by the way. You should try it if now so nafaa nilipe anyway. So I was saying, so me, but at that particular point akizisema, and for the first few months of this year, I had held a very big grudge on that person X, and I was like, after like looking what where we've come from, like wewe unanijua, ukiona penye nimetoka, I do not
How
expect
could
that
they do
from
that to
you.
you?
Expect that from a new person mwenye anaona design yako aseme tafadhali rudi class. Unaona, huyo ni new user, huyo ni like a new person, huyo ajui penye nimetoka na penye ninaenda na kama nimeimprove, because mi nilikuwa najua na improve. I can't siwezi kuwa naamka 3 na naamka for nothing. No, I na sacrifice na the way I love sleeping. So yeah, it did take me a while. Sitawadanganya, it broke me down. And so you know what happened? I went from, I wish I could draw a graph. I went from, si amenipigia hii day, so mood ikaenda hivi, asi mood hata like just my energy and all, to immediate. So unaweza imagine venye ego yangu ilikuwa elevated. Tunaongelea mistakes, venye ego yangu ilikuwa elevated. So hata hizo first few months that I had held a grudge, it was all because in my mind wanasemanga ukifeel hurt by someone, they're hurting your ego because kuna insecurities wameguza, una feel you're not good enough, so imekuumiza, because if you knew you were good enough
Yeah.
haiwezi kuumiza hiyo
Yeah. Yeah.
design. So unaona, na hiyo ni imposter syndrome most of us tunang'ang'ananga nayo. So
Yeah.
with constant again a support system, my friend, akitafadhali kuja kidi kama haon, if you're listening to this you don't have anyone by that time huongelesha ChatGPT at times. Tiffany, tuko pamoja hapo, nikiona watu wako mbali ama sijisikii kuongea na
BFF.
msee, naongea tuna ChatGPT. Kwanza naweza mwambia, if I'm feeling really low, I'll be like, please call me sweet names. Hiyo ni trick nililearn from a designer friend. Siko sure kama anaweza appreciate nikimtaja, but hiyo hata mi nikaamua, "Ebu please call me sweet
But
names," then
shout out to
ananisuta.
them.
But
Shout out
mi
to them.
eh, najua atasikiza na atajua ni yeye. Shout out to you. Shout out. Oh my god. So unaona, so I later nika calm down, nikajiingiza kwa viatu zake, nikaona yenyewe kama alikuwa na intentions baya ni yake, but based on venye mi namjua na venye najijua, na our ka small ka bond ya growth and career and nini, ni was just looking out for me, like umestruggle sana mama, just relax, una get.
Yeah,
But
yeah. I feel that vibe.
one can also argue it was due to selfish reasons, but we're not going to go there. Mimi nimeamua to think positively, and that is
We're
what
not
I
going
will
there
go with.
today.
I did not exactly today ever. That's so backdated. Like, come on, who's doing 1920 right now?
Once upon a time. Once upon a time.
So how to pick yourself up? It will take time. Haikuangi instant TV atakudanganya, but remind yourself. Unakumbuka venye umetuambia hapa, own yourself, own your worth. That is exactly what I had to do ndio nitoke hapo. I had to remind myself penye nimetoka. I had to remind myself penye ninaenda. I also reminded myself that I am competing with myself, not anyone else. I also reminded
Oh,
myself I and everyone
period.
else around me, we are all different and unique in every ways. Ule anaweza
Our
fanya in 3 months ni
own.
sawa. Mi nilifanya in 3 years pia, it's okay. Kila mtu ako na jani yake in the long run. We labda alifanya in 3 months alafu akaenda
Yeah.
akiendanga kucode juu ana explore. Design was too easy for them. Me code was too complicated for me. I just wanted to be creative. I don't want to do numbers. You see, there's also a difference because hata mi nilianza na writing code, not developing, writing code, but then niliambiwa kuna difference. So yeah, it does take time, but again, on just as Tiffany amesema, own yourself, own your worth, own your mistakes, they are part of you. Own your mistakes, they are part of you. Nimeisema twice na naisema mara ya tatu. Own your mistakes, they're part of who you are. And the only way to move past your mistakes is by learning from them. And the only way you can learn from them is accepting kwanza zili happen na ulizifanya. And then you can go back to na kwa nini nilizifanya? Did I have wrong information? And next time
Wow.
you'll just take a different approach. You see? So yeah, it takes a lot of
Yeah,
self-love to be a designer, by the way. The greatest designers huku wako
it
na very
does.
high EQ. If ukiangalia tu vizuri, great designers hapa nje wako na very, like, they understand themselves na wanajuanga wako perfect, that part, na wanajuanga pia they can always learn, which takes me to, we've talked about the Dunning-Kruger effect tukianza hii episode. Do you remember, while we both said we were at places where people thought we were so good, na maybe sisi
Yeah,
tuliwafanya
God.
wafikirie hivo, and we ended up making mistakes because maybe they thought so and then we thought so twice, so tukadhani
Very
tunajua
true. Oh
kila
my
kitu.
goodness. Kuna kitu umesema, like it made me think of something else. Like the expectations. You share some with someone, like you expect a design in a week, but they want it in a day. because they know you can do it in a day, even if you've communicated to them
Yeah.
in a week. Then kuna kitu nimerealize kwa industry yenye sijapenda. They
Mm.
call it the OGA driven expectations, where unafanya chenye boss anakwambia rather than chenye research inakwambia. Wangoi touched on it slightly previously akisema like
Mm-hmm.
you use research to defend your facts. Wakikataa, you just do what you're told, then they end up seeing that, by the way, you were right. But honestly, it takes a toll on someone realizing that your opinions don't matter, especially in UX. If they're looking for a UX designer, I don't want to be pretentious to say that all you'll be doing is just Figma, because that's your worth. But honestly, venye nimesema, like looking for more, I'm looking for projects where it's more than Figma. It's about people. It's about seeing what they see and how to make it better for them. And sometimes design interventions haihitaji Figma, ni labda kubadilisha venye vitu inafanywa already.
Mm-hmm.
So just people knowing that OGA driven design is real, and just knowing that you just need to hang in there, because sometimes we do it because of the money. You just do what you're told, because at the end of the month, at the end of the project, you'll get a kakitu to feed your family. But it takes a toll on your spirit, because you're not doing things the way you ought to or the way you believe it should be done, but you have to compromise, and sometimes the compromise is more than you can stomach sometimes. But just knowing that, just telling you it exists, it's real, you're not hallucinating in the daytime, it's real, but accepting it as it is, because at the end
You're
of the
actually
day,
right.
like you're designing stuff to feed your
Mm-hmm.
you're 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 working to feed your family. For me, it's to provide for my cows and feeds for my chicken. And
Yeah.
you have to like, yeah, like you have to also think it's just messy. Don't expect it to be textbook UX, because even that itself, you're dealing away with it. Like you may realize, I'm not practicing pure UX, like not pure UX, pure design thinking. That thing is going to become, it's going to be outdated very soon. So just accepting what is happening also,
Mm-hmm.
like au hallucinate ni ukweli chenye and also imenikumbusha, don't ignore those red flags. Unadhani ni pink, ukiona kuna kitu ina happen au hallucinate, especially for you as an empath. Your intuition is really really important.
Mm-hmm.
If you see a red flag, most chances are you're not tripping for nothing. There's something. So explore that and have that at the back of your mind. You think as a designer you don't have intuition, but that's what makes you one. Those are one of the qualities that make you a designer. That intuition, knowing that there's something wrong here and it's beyond what you're seeing. It's beyond a wrong color palette, it's beyond a wrong system. You know what's going on, and that's why you have that curiosity to explore that problem or to explore that idea. It's in you. So ukiona kuna kitu imefanyika job au imefanyika kwa project, and you're like, nah, it's not that serious. From what I've gone through, it's serious. Like when I look back, I'm in introspection, I'm like, but I've seen this coming all along. Why did I ignore those signs? So, like, it comes with owning those parts of you as well. Not just you know how to design in terms of you know how to use your color palette well, or you know how to choose typography, or you know how to balance out your work, you know how to come up with cool documentation. It's more than that. It's that because it involves people. You know there's something going on. You suspect those undertones of of red flag A or red flag B. Usizignore. Call them to light. Hata kama ni with yourself. Ujiambie, by the way, what just happened? What does it mean? If I'm treated like this again, nidu. Yeah, that
Yeah.
is what I'm
I
saying.
do.
Ishai kukufanyikia, by the way?
I
Like, is a red flags and you're like,
yeah.
ah.
Tuanze na the Oga effect. And
And on the effect.
agree with Wangoi on the part ya wakikataa we fanya venye. I've also seen someone say that in the UI UX community group. By the way, that's a very nice community. Kama hauja join, utaacha WhatsApp link yao hapa chini. But someone also said the same exact thing. So unajaribu kuambia wase hii na hii na hii, wanasema ho na ho na ho, wewe utafanya venye wanasema, so unafanya ho na ho na ho. So ikibackfire watakuwa like tungesikiza umse. So next time when you say something they'll listen, right? But isipo backfire, then you will learn. You will learn that you're actually wrong. You see? So it works in your
Okay,
favor
I wish
either
it
way.
was like
This is something people
either
need to
way.
understand. You letting the Oga effect take, because sasa utafaa nini? Labda Oga hata ni client. But just make sure you are very vocal about what you would have done before wakatae. Sawa sawa, hiyo tu. Otherwise utakuwa na evidence that zenye unaweza ambia watu I told you so professional. But then how do you tell someone I told you so professional? Hebu niangalie,
Unaanzaje?
wacha nione. I told you so there's this lady mwenye anafanyanga easy comebacks in a polite way, like the professional manner in
Yeah. I
Instagram.
know
But
that
then
chick.
memkawia, umeshaimwona?
Mi
Ndo
uona
angetuambia I told
YouTube.
you so.
Ana sijuita, sijui Low Hailey, kitu kama hiyo.
Ukipata link by the tuma tuweke kwa description. Aya, ndo hii. There are four ways. There are four ways to say oh my god. There are four ways to say I told you so professionally according to ChatGPT. Of course there are more, but there's the reflective approach that says, reflecting on our previous discussions, it seems that some of the concerns I raised have indeed manifested. How can we work together to address these challenges moving forward? And I told you so. Eh. And then
But that
there's
one
this
is
one.
cold.
Solution. By then taziandika watu watazitumia, ntaziandika niwaeke kwa description. Kuna hii solution focused. Now that we see how the situation has evolved, this is more polite. Let's use this as an
Yeah.
opportunity to revisit some of the strategies I mentioned earlier. I think they could be really effective, but that's more polite. And then there's the collaborative tone.
Yeah.
It looks like the results are consistent with what we initially thought might happen. But then I'd go with the collaborative tone. Let's use this as a learning opportunity to improve our approach next time. So unajiingiza kwa hiyo mix ya blunder. Like tulifanya, tukakosea, tufanye hii sasa.
Nilikuwa nasema at least that one, it's not like, oh my goodness, you see? Unaona pale tumefikia just because you didn't listen to me.
Yeah, right. Ya nne, the supportive and constructive one. Inaka the best, I think. This gives us a chance to regroup and consider some of the alternatives we discussed before. I'm here to help us steer this back on track, by the way. And hiyo mpaka unachukua like ownership. So yeah, those are just some of the examples. Sasa ushaisikia about the framing. If Gaitif, unajua we can talk for hours. Ama hii ikuwe na part 1 part 2.
I know.
Because I just wanted to, I was like, I wanted to conclude that point by saying, kuna venye tu steering this back on track inamaanisha now you're taking control over the project, so wakuachie sasa, like it's kind of you telling them to trust you, you see. Speaking of which,
Yeah.
before we wind up, you had another question before me nianze conclude.
I think hata nilikuwa nayo nishasahau.
Oh no, but we will have this again, no? You're such a vibe.
Definitely. This was, you are more of a vibe. You see that humidifier is doing its thing and you're glowing and You're really an amazing host. I'm really grateful to be on your podcast. I remember us having one a few years ago, and then seeing you host, it's like, this girl is glowing. I am here for the glow. I'm here for the glow.
Speaking of which, what happened to your podcast?
Oh, part of the imposter syndrome vibe, I was like, I've got poor audio. I'm not a senior because I was in that phase of I just want to be a senior. Then I realized like, I'm good where I am. So I didn't really think I'm worthy of hosting a podcast because in the end, I felt like I was just talking to myself. It just started that way, like me in the dark with my phone, just talking to myself and then posting online as a podcast. And then sometimes I would call up my friends and then bring them over as guests and then talking to them. Sometimes
Mm-hmm.
it was in the dark as well. There was
Mm-hmm.
one I was where the cows were
Mm-hmm.
sleeping. That's where I was having my podcast on the emotional side of
Eh,
design and balancing, like in terms
uh,
of mental health as a designer, because she's also creative. And then another one as well on jobs.
mm-hmm.
But it was raining and it was at night and it was a phone call. Aki ilikuwa podcast too. But when I reflect back, if someone listens to that episode, I'm like, those were gems. So I think it's just imposter syndrome and believing the lie of I can't really do it.
Ah. Sasa ukitaka kurudi, mi nimekubali kwa co-host wako.
Can I really fit into the shoes of the great Chantel Chendereta?
What
Can
shoe?
I?
What great? Ona, hapa hakuna great. Hapa tunajaribu tu wote. Plus, you're a very good host. Did you notice there was a time you switched this? Ikakuwa ni kama mi ndo guest.
But it's a conversation, right? Like the reason why I joined this, I accepted this was
Exactly.
because it's a conversation. When I thought like it's some serious topics, I was like, man, can I do it? If you knew the nerves I had before, I can't believe it was really this easy and fun. We should do this again sometime. As a co-host,
Yeah, we should.
yeah, I'll take you up on it. Akili kikubali. Because
Sawa.
if I say no, if I say I'll think
Ah,
about it, may I know my thoughts. I know it can go
sawa.
haywire.
We kumbuka to own yourself, own your worth. The same thing umetuambia when it comes to imposter syndrome. Kubali kwanza, kuna vitu kweli ujui, ni sawa. And it's okay not to know everything. No one in this what no one. Hakuna even ule mse ako na IQ sijui gani. Haezi jua kila kitu hii dunia. And that's okay. We are all human. Hivyo tu. Nataka kumaliza na I've been talking about learning a lot. So I want to finish with how there's this katweet kameniuma yani. It's just that
Kamekuasha.
online I try and be polite. But if huyu mse angekuwa beshte yangu I think ningemchapa lecture fulani. Na hiyo lecture naenda kuichapa hapa. I really hope she will get to hear this. Lakini let's start with some questions before tuseme hiyo tulikuwa nasema nini. So let's talk about your learning experience. Of course, I don't know, mine nimeshare before yangu haikuwa smooth. Na nimeshare pia hapa sahi, yes, nilifika mahali. Mi nimeshare from last year September. Sijawambia venye nilianza this is my fourth or fifth. Hapo tu katikati in design. You see, sijashare hizo years zingine nimeshare tu from last September. So it's like between like those 3.5 years nilikuwa na do. Naona. So like what was your learning experience? What would you like knowing what you know now, ni nini ungechange? And unaweza sema what are the best learning resources unaweza ambia designer or any
Uh,
techie apitie through?
having a good community. Having a community, like there are different communities for different purposes. But I honestly want to shout out Chapa Freak. Chapa Freak, previously known as Afri Design,
Mm-hmm.
they molded me into the designer I am now. Not from you need to learn this skill, but people just being there. I don't think of course, there's UI UX community. There is
Aki
there are very
usiposema Kenyan
various
Design
communities.
Conversations unatoka nje.
Si karibu niseme KDK. Now, but for
Si
that
karibu sema.
community, Kenya Design
Uh-huh.
Conversations community. Chapa Freak number one was
Thank you.
for Africans, uh, for Africans by Africans. We were building something, and it was from us. We were
Mm-hmm.
building the African design system, and I still have contacts from the person who shared with me the dribble link for the first time, or who taught me how to mock up. And they're the ones who told me,
Mm.
by the way, I've gone through this. For 6 years, I was unemployed. I was struggling, trying to make ends meet. So I know how you feel. I know where you are. And I can tell you, Tiffany, I know what you're able to do. And you can do this. Having a community where someone can you
Wow.
can reach out to someone and they can tell you that. And they can tell you, not because ni Mkenya mwenzako, it went beyond that, and that teaching you how to design from an African perspective for me just changed how I approach design. And when I was doing my first case study, the guy called me and we sat down and he was like, Tiff, this is not a case study. And he showed me this is how a case study should be done. You
Oh,
shouldn't be just adding pictures
see
all
now
over.
that's a
Tell me
community.
your process. Tell me your process. Show me show me where you started, what your research is, what the problem is. Don't tell me I designed this, I designed that. Focus on the problem. And for me, such insights changed how I even approach problems. I'm not approaching from I did a persona, I did high feeds, I did a roadmap. It's more of this feature exists because from the information I gathered, users really need this feature and it's a way to solve that problem. It's a way to help them. Then we have this feature as well because it's addressing a certain pain point from the empathy map I did. So it's not about me, it's
Mm-hmm.
about the people I'm serving. And such communities change how you are. That's the essence of UX. It's how you approach a
Mm.
problem.
I
We
do
can all
agree.
do it in different ways. We can all have different markets, or even in the same market, but targeting different segments. And that's why approaches are really important. And if you have a community which helps you arrive at that, for me, I was leaning on people who would show me that. And that was a true privilege and a true honor. Then, other than a really good community, not just for banter or for events or for cool resources, those are awesome. But a community where mnaweza kaa pamoja and you're like, it hit the fan today. Why? And you sit down and you're like, oh, probably
Yeah.
because you did ABC. That's community. That's the essence of it because you're coming together as fellow problem solvers. And I think I don't like the trend in the industry, which is pitting us against each other because of the limited resources, the
Mm-hmm.
limited jobs. You'll find one job has 200 people, and it doesn't make sense. And it places you in this mind frame of lazima nipige huyu msee rather than tutoane kwa block. Tuko pamoja kwa hii kitu, opportunities ni mob hapa nje,
I
tufanye
know.
nini
Thank you.
tuziget.
Oh
It's
my God.
because of this. I
I'm
don't know
mind
if
blown.
it's the
You've
mindset of
actually
the
talked about
industry.
this.
Yeah, it's I don't know the root of it. Is it because we don't have enough jobs out there? Is it because people are not innovating
Hakuna,
enough?
ni
But
wivu
because
tu. Skill yako
au ni
hata
wivu?
ni wivu. Skill yako hata like unaweza upskill hata 10 times but haitawahi. Tiff, mimi na wewe, imagine we design differently. We are both good designers. Like my skill is
Yeah,
just mine and yours is just yours. Someone will love your
yeah.
skill and someone will love mine. Like because we have totally different themes, we even have totally different mentals. We even like love totally different things. Like you see, where say uko like mi na wewe by that time mi naishi ushago like but iko karibu na Nairobi, sitasema wapi for purposes of mi najipenda. Like hata mi naishi place yenye I can just walk think 10 minutes there's a river mahali niende nisikize the calmness of water flowing, unaona ni venye mi napenda, so maybe nikiwa huko I watch birds, that's where my inspiration comes. Kuna mwingine anashindanga tu Pinterest TV na Pinterest pia it's a particular labda yeye ni glassmorphism na bento grid, labda yeye ni bold, beautiful, elegant, nona. So everyone has their own taste. So if people need to remove that mindset from their akili, akuna, no one's coming for your job. You create your own job, tafadhali, please. Acheni wivu. Imagine, my mentor was teaching us about how to sell yourself to a client, right? And of course, Chantel anapenda kushare value. Like me, anything I find valuable. We kasirika, nimetuma messages 1,000,001. That's your fault, by the way. But mi naona hii kitu inaweza kuvalue, mi nitakupea hiyo maji. We utadecide kama unakunywa or not, unaona? So we ndo
Au
pune in
kunywa,
this
yeah.
case. Lakini I don't mean it in a bad way, poleni. But like that, just that, when you take a donkey to drink water, hizo vitu ndio analogy nimetoa, don't come for me my conversationalists. Aya, so yeah, imagine someone ended up removing me from their group because I shared that. So hiyo ni nini? So they're the only ones who are supposed to teach someone. It's like me removing someone from the KDK WhatsApp group. Uchana na channel kuna na WhatsApp group. Juu ameshare something inaweza boost mse hapo ndani, like maybe anashare LinkedIn optimization class. Come on, let people grow. Ni nini?
Let people
Niwe unataka
grow.
kushikilia chakula au wape hivi? Kwani ni cult? Hey. People by the way say wanafaa kuja polepole na wachill on gatekeeping.
Imagine we won't keep
We
on
can?
having the conversation. We can't keep on having the conversation of how to get started with design. I want other people to have that conversation because they already know from their experiences. We mentored them, we helped them. Us will be having a higher level. So ni sisi tunavutana pole pole. Then they'll start that way and elevate and inspire other people. That ripple effect. We won't keep on talking about how to get started for 10 years. I want other people to also say that, but from their perspective and their time zone, and
Thank you.
hakuna kugetkipiana hapa. Like, and
Yes.
something else. We're talking about learning. Free courses
Hata
is good.
hujanijibu. Mi post unajua nimeifungua. Inaniuma sana. Acha ni
Oh,
screenshot
pole
niweke
pole,
hapa.
tupoeshe
Sitaki
tupoeshe wound.
We niambie kwanza how you
Tupoeshe wound.
learned nini design. Like cause mi naweza kwambia before nifike Coursera nilianza na YouTube. Sindio? YouTube online ni nini.
Nice.
And then people thought I was a good designer because I was doing what I was doing, right?
Yeah.
Aki. I am so tired, yani.
Wow.
Anasema, I mean this in the most polite way. You cannot compare a school graduate and an graduate in terms of professionalism and even skills. The former is very much ahead. Tell me why people are being classified according to venye walisoma. That is very degrading. Inamaanisha juu sikuwa na pesa enough ya kusoma penye unataka nisome sasa cause Alexa I think ni 2M. So juu sina 2M ya kusoma na niko na I think ni 100 and something K. Sikuwa na enough ya 2
Something big.
million, nilikuwa na I think 100k. So utani classify hivyo. I have seen tech classes where out of 20 people 3 graduated. I have seen them. So you're giving someone the impression that hata hawa watatu wenye wali graduate na like their skills are amazing are worthless. You know, like I am so bitter. I feel like niende nimpate penye yako nimkamue. Why would you judge someone like that?
Slap. Honestly, I think empathize with them.
Ningejua ni nani? Mimi ka Gen Z.
Slap. Ungemsalimia?
But I do get point yake. Anasema amework na wase. Amework na wase from one of those schools. Na wengi wa hawa wako better than wengi wa hawa. But again, my point is, mimi personally, mimi kama mtoto wa YouTube University, there's me, there's Wangoi, and we flourished. But the other people who failed, unaona? So ukisema watu kaa sisi wa YouTube University are worthless, what are you saying? I probably can code better than you can. Sisi kwa sina ubaya, hata me, I mean this in the most polite way. So like before you're coming at people, kindly, tafadhali, empathy, jieke kwa viatu za msee. Ebu imagine walimu wa hiyo shule wamesema ni worthless, wanafeel aje?
Sio poa. And like nikikumbuka si poa. Na feel like imeni hurt juu. Una imagine say like the way you were saying you were working and then learning. There was a guy like I don't remember his username, anaenda mjei alafu sikuwa na code. So nataka kuniambia he's worthless. He's not.
Aje na anang'ang'ana kwa upskill.
Anafanya
like people need to be kind.
And then usiku ana code. Usiku ana code, anajifunza code. And we should have more grace towards people who are transitioning. Honestly, so long as you can get the job done,
Nikushangaze.
It doesn't matter.
Shangaze,
I'm ready to be shook.
Shangaze. Most of the Uber drivers I have met and have had conversations on career with, most like 2 out of 3, wamecode. Ama huwa wana code.
What?
Like, yo, kuja pole. Haujui wase wanafanya nini huku nje wafike kwenye wewe, it's working for you. Umeenda the best schools nini. We are happy for you, by the way. Go ni dem, by the way. Go girl. Wenda. Like, we are happy for you. But in the process, do not see other people as worthless in the process. I also mean this in the most polite way, my dearest.
Polite way.
Sawa? I got you.
All of us.
Yo, itabidi
just the way I think
sasa.
you said it. Hapa ni important, just to back up. The way you said, kila mse ako na jani yake. So, aimata venye uliingia ni venye tunainuana tu.
Yes, thank you. Exactly like that. Aya, any last words? This has been so interesting. Niko sure hata hatuja cover hata a quarter of what we were supposed to.
As part of learning, venye tumesema YouTube University, jichoche, go bold or go home. Imagine itabidi tu jichoche out of, I don't know, like, it's not a matter of you being a junior designer or being a mid or being a senior. To get to where you're at, imagine you have to be super bold about what you want and where you're going. Hata ka ujui like venye inakaa uko mbele, but where you are, jichoche manze. When you are that, you are it. And there's no going home. Nilisema go home, but hakuna, it's either you go bold or you go bold. Nilisema go home juu hiyo inaweza stick.
Thank you.
But kwa hii kitu hakuna kugive up. Tunasonga tukisonga. Ukinyesha tunakaukia kwa njia tukisonga. Kaende. So be bold and
si ndio ni mvua tu na itaisha.
Mvua itaisha. Itakauka kwa mwili. Jua ikiangaza.
Yes. And it's also better ka uko na mse ana umbrella.
Oh, pia.
sindo
By the
ni
way,
poa
'cause
pia ka uko na
kuna
msee ako na umbrella
hailstones, kuna
kushield.
hailstones. True, kuna hailstones hapa nje, so
So
at
that's a
least
support
if you
system.
have an umbrella, yeah, if you have an umbrella buddy mwenye anaweza kukufunika, at least you'll weather on. I love that umbrella. That's a new terminology for me as well.
So if you have not subscribed by the time umefika hapa, what are you waiting for? Nasikia kuimbe lakini sauti
What
yangu
are
it's
they
not the very
waiting
best.
for? What are they waiting for? What are they waiting for? Able
But
subscribe, like, share.
share if you find value, by the way. Jali, don't come for my hair as well. Just because nalipwa a little better haimanishi just don't come for my hair ama unipe pesa ya salon tafadhali. Anyway, it's just a joke. This has been Kenyan Design Conversations, but wait, before hata tufunge, I think the biggest thing we have said hapa ni ku own yourself, own your worth, own your mistakes, kila kitu, own them. That has been my biggest takeaway. Alafu tumesemaje? Tiff, go bold or
Go home. Kuna home. Go bold or go bold. Go bold or go home. Let the listeners decide.
Oh, go bold or sawa. Aya, haina shida. Sawa. This has been Kenyan Design Conversations with Tiffany, hosted by Chandareta Chantel. But then una notice sina co-host wangu hapa, kila mtu ako busy. Watu wako busy, people have lives, so don't come for my hosts. Najua mtawamiss, muwaambie lakini. Bye.